I'm back, baby! Woo! It's on! Dynamite! Was awesome! I finally got to see Daniel Garcia and Bryan Danielson beat the shit out of each other. Phenomenal. The card for Revolution shaping up. Mox and Danielson confirmed. Kingston, Jericho confirmed. Ty Conti versus Jade Cargill confirmed. This pay-per-view is stacked. I'm loving it. Let's get this show on the road. What's going on, beautiful people? Smells like Wrasslin, back at it again. I do apologize for the no-show last week. I actually completely forgot that I had scheduled time off on vacation for myself. And, yeah, I never told you guys about it. I am so sorry. I was going to film from where I was. I just did not have the time or the opportunity. So I do apologize. And I promise that if something like that does happen, I'll let you guys know. Great show. A lot of catching up to do. I was not live for the Cody free agency info to drop. I mean, whatever. I mean, less brandy for me, so that works out. Nothing against her as a person, just her character. I don't care for. And in ring, I don't care for either. Cody, man, I felt like he was primed for that really big time heel run, and I wouldn't have been upset with that. I mean, as long as they booked it properly. To be quite honest, I feel like it was a dumb idea of him not to ever be able to challenge for the AEW title, because that could be an ongoing storyline. You could give him the title like 5 years down the line, or something, something ridiculous where like, like he's never won the big one, blah, 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 because other people deserve to win the big one in that company over Cody Rhodes. I've heard a lot of different reports as to why. To be quite honest, the only people who know that are fucking Cody, Brandy, and Tony. And that's pretty much it. They did an interview, I think Meltzer did an interview with Omega. Omega didn't really seem to know. He had his thoughts as to what could have possibly motivated Cody to leave. If he's talking about like creative freedom, WWE isn't the place to go. And I know everyone's saying he's going to WWE, he's going to WWE. Who knows, man? We won't know if he's actually going to WWE until he fucking shows up. And even so, him showing up, like, I don't know what they are planning to do with him. You know what I mean? Like, what do you do with Cody Rhodes right now? Do they book him as a big guy? Does Vince not book him as a big guy because it makes it look like whoever comes from the other company could actually be a bigger deal after leaving WWE? So I'm not too sure. It really just depends on Vince. Vince says he wants to make money with anybody. He said he'd even still sign Punk. I mean, Punk will never go back to WWE, but I don't know. We'll see. But to be honest, like, there is a very small mountaintop on AEW, just based on the amount of television programming that they have allotted to them on a weekly basis. And I'm gonna let you motherfuckers know right now, there's not a lot of space up there. You know what I mean? So, like, Cody leaving just gives a little bit of breathing room, I think, to Tony. I think that when people's contracts are up, I think a lot of people's contracts aren't going to get renewed. I think that roster is going to get thinned out. It's going to free up some, I'm going to call it cap space. I assume it's a budget that Tony has in regards to who he wants to sign and for how much. It's going to free up that cap space where he can sign other people. I'm hoping he signs more talented women to the roster. You still have a Tony Storm out there. You have a Mia Yim out there. You have an Ember Moon out there. That's a lot. You have a Candice LeRae out there. I believe she's, I don't know if her and her, Johnny's contracts were due at the same time, but, there's that. There's a lot of great female talent out there that would be very much a big welcome to, the AEW women's roster. They could take people like Anna Jay and AQA and Red Velvet, and they could spend more time on Dark and Elevation, starting to get their reps in and honing their craft. There'll be so many other people just into these new faces in the women's division that you could put those faces that have been there in the beginning aside and really get them to hone their craft. Because I'll tell you this right now, that crowd was hot until that Jade Cargill match, and then it got real fucking quiet. You know, I mean, I don't think anyone in their right fucking mind thought that Jade was gonna lose to the Bunny. Also, they got to be real careful with her saying who's next, because you know those Goldberg chants are gonna start, and it's almost like Tony watches The Observer, you know? Like, they were basically saying, like, book her like a Goldberg, and that's exactly what they did, almost down to the point where they have a streak, and she's saying who's next. Like, it's just a little bit heavy-handed now. But if she's gonna, if she's gonna muff people up and duff people up every week, she shouldn't be having matches that go into commercial breaks, you know what I mean? I mean, granted, the Bunny is supposed to be, like, not a jobber, but not, like, high-end. She's, like, Penelope Ford level, like, you know, like mid card of the women's division, maybe upper, maybe upper mid card. But you know, whatever. That's how I feel about that. Trying to think of any other news that happened throughout the in the past 2 weeks, because I missed last week. Whatever. Let's get to the review. Let's get going. So starts off with the tag team battle royal. Battle royal victors are Red Dragon. Survives. It was actually Kyle O'Reilly was the last man standing. Participants were Best Friends, the Butcher and the Blade, Silver and Reynolds, Gun Club, FTR, Santana and Ortiz, Red Dragon 2.0, Private Party, and the Young Bucks. So, you know, basically it came down to one man left on each team. It was FTR, it was Santana and Ortiz, I believe it was Dark Order, Young Bucks, and Red Dragon towards the end. And basically it ended up being that as they were going to throw out John Silver, Kyle O'Reilly tosses out Matt Jackson and John Silver for the win. Obviously setting up some contention between Red Dragon and the Bucks. I am curious as to who's going to win that Battle Royal. I think that's next week. So I'm curious to see who's going to win that and see who's going to go in. I assume it's going to be Red Dragon and the Bucks, along with Jurassic Express. I don't see them giving the Bucks back to the belts. It's either going to go to Red Dragon or they give it to Jurassic Express again and use the feud that they have going on with Red Dragon and the Bucks to like their detriment, and that's why they couldn't win the big one, because they were just fighting amongst each other. So who knows? I was still really hoping for Kings of the Black Throne to be in it and to win, to be quite honest. I don't know who's... Oh, my God! Oh, shit. I hit my soundboard. My bad. I don't know who's going to be in that Battle Royal, so I'm curious as to, like, how this is going to all play out. Paige grabbed the mic. He comes out because, whatchamacallit? I think, yeah, the Bucks and Red Dragon were into it. They were beating up John Silver. Hangman comes out, lays out Red Dragon. The Bucks basically let him do it. And Paige comes out and basically just says, like, you know, Adam Cole's won championships all over the ground. He's drawn closer to a 6 feet hole in the ground, meaning the Hangman's gonna fucking bury him. That's again the title match at Revolution. Hangman versus Adam Cole. That's gonna be freaking awesome. They do a backstage segment with Danielson saying he basically put over Garcia. I am curious as to whether or not they're going to bring alongside the two guys that they ended up fighting. So I wonder if Danielson, Moxley, Lee Moriarty, and Daniel Garcia become some sort of faction. I am very curious as to how that faction would play out. I think Daniel Garcia with guys like with Moxley and Danielson is great, because the guy is vicious. Like, he's a serious fucking shooter. I enjoy watching him wrestle. He's getting better on the mic. I do like him with 2.0, because 2.0 could be serious and 2.0 could be fucking hysterical. And I like having that little combination of the two. It's a shame that 2.0 is probably going to be a long time before they get any real, like, push towards anything. But they're being used well in the role that they're in. I do think that there are better tag teams that are out there that need to be in that top title picture, and I think Red Dragon is one of them. You can't really be mad about the Bucks being in the main event of anything, because they're fucking awesome. Even though, I mean, honestly, I don't see them getting a second title reign anytime soon. Maybe FTR gets it. I don't know. Who knows? But I definitely think that the path for the Bucks in terms of the storyline is going to have something to do with Adam Cole, and has going to have something to do with Red Dragon, and after the report from Kenny Omega today, and he doesn't look like he's going to be ready anytime soon unless he's working us. So I think that trios feud that's going to end up happening between, whoever we have left of the Undisputed Era and AEW versus the Elite. I'm honestly not too sure. And now you got Jay White thrown into the mix. So the stuff that's going on with the Bucks and Kenny and Cole, I feel like a lot of those storylines are playing more towards the hardcore base. Like there's obviously history between all of these guys, and unless you're following them on the indies and New Japan, if you've been watching BTE from the beginning, like, you're not going to really know too much about the backstory. They're really trying to put in a lot of story into the short amount of TV time that you have. So, like, if they're going to keep the Bucks and Cole and all these guys who were friends on the indies and have history, if they're going to keep them in their own little universe where they're feuding with one another, and every once in a while one of them pops into the into the title picture, I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about that. To be quite honest, just what's going on with AEW has just been interesting, because normally I'm used to, I'll watch WWE and they have so much talent. They have such a plethora of talent. And the only real problem I have is just the way that things are booked and the way that Vince and Kevin Dunn and Bruce Pritchard do their storytelling. It's interesting because, like, they only have a very, very small amount of people in the main event scene, like outside of like Roman, Brock, and a couple of other people, I'm noticing it's getting increasingly difficult to, I guess, fantasy book AEW, because the amount of talent that they have, like, it's really, like, depending on who you talk to, there are certain people where you want guys to start, and then other people who think that certain guys need to be on the bench. And I feel like it's just an interesting dilemma that AEW has, and I feel like the fan base has as well. I think I was talking about this the last episode with, different brands being like different sports teams. But it's almost like it's almost like we follow a sport where each of the sports teams basically play by their own rules, and their fans score them differently than the judges do. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's very much a clash of different kinds of intellectual and sports properties when it comes to professional wrestling. You have the sports aspect of it, where these guys have skill and talent in the ring, and you want to see them. You want to see guys who are very good face other guys who are very good and have very good matches. But, the fact of the matter is that the story is one of the main things that sell it. If you have two no-name guys, you really don't make that much of a splash when it comes to promotions. I mean, you could look at UFC and boxing. Boxing went on a drought because they had no dynamic characters. UFC was able to draw on the drawing power of guys like McGregor and Rousey and John Jones, and even to an extent Brock Lesnar when they had him. But these are guys that kind of put themselves over. Like, their ring work gets them their ticket to the dance, but whether or not they're going to be showcased is going to depend on their personalities. Now, the weird thing about professional wrestling is that these guys, like, personalities and stories, they're being dictated by someone else. They can't do it naturally like, feuds happen in the UFC. Granted, yeah, the whole promotional aspect of it, if you look at, like, when, like, McGregor and Mayweather fought one another, they did that whole press tour where they were just basically roasting each other. I thought it was fucking ridiculous. But that's sports, that's pro wrestling. They were cutting promos on each other to build up interest in the match, but it was, if neither of those two guys were skilled enough at their craft, no one's really going to give a shit about two guys who can't fight. So it's very interesting, pro wrestling, and I could see that there are guys with fantastic in-ring ability, and a part of, and I'm guilty of it also. I see their fantastic in-ring ability, and I immediately want to push them to the top. But in terms of storytelling, yeah, I think at this point, like, there are a lot of people, and I was talking about this with a buddy of mine, and I was telling him, I was like, you and I, we have differing opinions on different things, but the way that he books things is logical. It's intellectually sound, and it's good storytelling. We just view things a different way. So, I think it's a good problem to have. I think it's a good problem that a lot of different people could see a lot of different outcomes for this particular promotion. I don't think it's becoming that easy to predict anymore. I do think though that like if you do have particular tastes, I think it's going to be with AEW a roll of the dice because they're constantly evolving and they're constantly changing up how they're doing things in terms of their storyline. Like a lot of guys have changed their look and their feel dramatically since its inception. I mean, the Dark Order now is nowhere near what the Dark Order was before. Guys like Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara, and MGF. Like MGF was a big deal in the indies, but the guy's a megastar now. So, and they're adding in a lot of new talent. So I guess what I want to do is I would just want to I guess encourage people that like if your guy isn't at the tippy top of the mountain, if he's not holding titles, like it doesn't necessarily mean that he's being underutilized. I think it's just waiting for his number to be drawn at this point, and I'm hoping that what they say backstage is true, that, Tony's pretty much an open ear to people with their suggestions. I mean, ultimately it's his ship and he's going to do what he wants. But, I think at the end of the day, as long as that open door is there where you could put forth your ideas and be given a platform to get yourself over, I think that's what matters at the end of the day, because that's something that a lot of these guys had in WWE. They don't have a platform to get themselves over. They're given something that someone else wrote and they say someone else's words for someone else's character. And they have to pray to God that it's either A, people like it enough that they like it, or B, you have to hope that they hate it enough that it becomes viral and a joke and they just want to push you anyways. So I don't know. It's a big deal. MJF came out looking all sad and pathetic, that piece of shit. Saying basically, I like, all right, so like the way that they're coming at this whole, it is the worst stream ever, Josh, you son of a bitch. The way that they're coming at this is MJF is me. When Punk left, I was like, fuck this motherfucker. I was like, I can't believe it. I mean, granted, after, the Colts Cabana podcast, I understood as to why he left. And you know what, and I didn't really need any convincing that, that WWE was, that's, sucked. So I didn't need his podcast to tell me what I already knew. I just got to get his side of the story and what happened with him. And to be quite honest, he doesn't look like the easiest guy to work with. He looks like he has a massive chip on his shoulder, and I don't expect him to be someone that's easy to work with. I mean, I think age has matured him now, and I think he's a little bit more. I think he's. I don't know. From what it sounds like, he seems to be a more pleasant person in the locker room. He sounded like a guy who took himself way too seriously when he back in the day. If you if you watch an old interview with Owens, I think Punk gave him crap for wearing like shorts or a t-shirt to the ring instead of his singlet. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, fuck off. Punk wore shorts to the fucking ring anyway, so I don't want to hear it. But yeah, there were people who were just like, yo, like I bought into the pipe bomb. The pipe bomb spoke to exactly how I was thinking and I was feeling about the product. I thought it was bullshit. I thought they were pushing Cena to the top. I thought it was killing their mid-card and undercard. Everyone was getting 50-50 booking. All the guys who were good wrestlers were treated as a joke. Guys who get themselves over, like Zack Ryder, ended up getting buried. Like when he got kicked in the dick by Eve Torres at WrestleMania. I mean, the guy was the most over guy in the company. You make him look like a fucking geek on the biggest stage in the mall. Fuck you, Vince. So, I bought into that. I was like, yeah, man, yeah. And like things are going to change. And then he won the fucking belt. And then he took the belt all over the place when like he wasn't contracted with WWE. I mean, granted, it only took like a week or so for them to give the same belt back to CM Punk. Actually, they made a duplicate belt. They had like a number one contenders match and fucking, I think it was like a battle royal or some shit like that, and Rey Mysterio won and became the WWE title. Cena challenges him for 2 hours later at Raw and beats him and becomes the champ. And then 3 minutes after he holds the belt, fucking Punk comes back with the the cult of personality music, and then they had their both belts and blah blah blah. But like, I bought into that shit, and then all of a sudden one day he was fucking gone, and I was just like, here I was thinking that this guy was, gonna change things. And for a minute he did, because when he had the belt, didn't Danielson have the world title and Zack Ryder had the US title, and they like made a big deal about it? I think Kofi and Evan Bourne were tag team champions at the time. So like a lot of the guys who I think Punk would have wanted at the top were at the top at that time. And then just like nothing really came about. of it. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, obviously, no, I should take that back. When Punk left, I apparently opened up the opportunity for Danielson to go on that mega run where he won the belt at WrestleMania 30. Because Punk left that Royal Rumble. So that same Royal Rumble, that same year, that WrestleMania, Punk wasn't even in with the company anymore. He was fucking gone. So, like, I mean, granted, at that point, I jumped onto the Daniel Bryan train. I'm like, here we go. Like, here's someone I could root for now that Punk is gone. But I was like, come on. So MJF is playing that part. He's playing the jilted lover. He's playing the fan that was like, yo, I fucking believed in you. I watched Raw and SmackDown because of the pipe bomb and because of what you said and because you spoke to how I felt about professional wrestling. And then I stuck it out as a fan, but you left. I mean, after that, I got rid of my Punk shirt. I was done. I was like, fuck this guy. And then I was really done with him when he showed up in UFC. When I was like, bro, like, this guy, like, never had a UFC fight, goes into the UFC, 0 fights under his belt, not even amateur fights. He's done some sparring at Gracie's dojo, and that was pretty much it. And you know what happened? He got exactly what he fucking deserved. He got his ass whooped. Then he did a second fight, and they whooped his ass again. And then you never saw him again. Like, that was when I had really lost my respect for Punk. I was like, bro, like, you're doing movies, you're doing comic books, you do MMA commentary, but no one fucking asked you to be in the ring. And I think he honestly became everything that he hated because he was a guy who ended up taking a spot from people who had put in the work, put in amateur fights, had pro fights, moving their way up the card, and they put a spot on the card for CM fucking Punk, 0 wins, 0 losses, 0 professional fights. But yeah, I get it. I get that the company was shit to him and they treated him like crap and he couldn't get better. I get that. And do I respect him for leaving? Sure. Time heals all wounds. Okay. But don't expect me to give him a free pass on the UFC thing because that was some fucking bullshit. All right. So Punk shows up, asks him if he was telling the truth. Crocodile tears start coming from MJF. He says yeah and then walks off. I mean, MJF's still a piece of shit, but the guy has range on those promos, bro. I mean, honestly, like, there is not, what can that guy not do? I mean, Jesus Christ. And basically he was like, you know what, Punk? I'm not going to quit. Because I'm not going to be like you. Because if I did quit, I'd be just like you. A quitter. So I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. I hope MJF wins. Because Punk shits on Long Island a lot. That's pretty much it. And the Islanders are better than the Blackhawks, so you could suck it. Penta's got a new gimmick. It's kind of like what he was in Lucha Underground, is Penta Oscuro, meaning Dark Penta. That didn't help him much because he got his ass whooped tonight. Death Triangle gets defeated by Kings of the Black Throne. Pac and Penta were defeated by Malachi Black and Brody King. This was a pretty solid tag match. The big notable part was the introduction of Buddy Matthews making his debut. It looks like he was about to confront Malachi Black, stomp some mud hole in fucking Penta, wipes them all out. Matthews curb stops Penta onto a chair. I mean, listen, unless your nails, as a trios match, I think Kings of the Black Throne versus Death Triangle, once you get Rey Fenix healthy, is gonna be fucking incredible. The question is, how long until Rey Fenix gets healthy? Because I heard conflicting stories. I heard he was gonna be healthy by Revolution, so I assumed there was gonna be a trios match. But now I'm hearing it's gonna be a lot longer than that. He's gonna be out for maybe another 3-4 weeks. So I don't know. I'm very curious as to what's gonna happen. But it's definitely going to be an interesting industry storyline going on with those two trios. One of the high points of the night was Jericho and Kingston having their confrontation. Jericho had security out there to keep it from breaking down into a fight. This was actually pretty cool. Basically, Kingston was pretty pissed off. He was basically accusing Jericho of being a sports entertainer. If I hadn't mentioned already, tonight's show was taking place in Connecticut, which is right down the road from Titan Towers and the headquarters of WWE. So basically, Kingston was like, I don't want to do this sports entertainer bullshit, all right? You want to talk? I just want to fight, so let's fucking go. Oh, he did have a setback in rehab, Doom? It looks like Phoenix had a setback in his rehab, and maybe that's what increased the timetable of his return. So, yeah. So, anywho, basically, Kingston was saying he's not a sports entertainer. He's like, this is a wrestling company. Jericho says, I'm going to tell you something about sports entertainment. The one we do here is actually entertainment. So, I'm going to go on with this story. Basically, tells Kingston that he had no idea who he was when he came in. He said that he thought he was Eddie Edwards, some fucking jobber. He didn't really care who he was. Everyone was so excited. And then he kind of got to see him, and he was like, I think he's pretty good, but, he's afraid of succeeding. He just can't win the big one. I definitely think that this is Kingston's time to win the big one. I definitely think Kingston is going over Jericho. I think Kingston needs to go over Jericho. I think Kingston's due for a big win. I don't think he's getting a push towards any title shot anytime soon, unless he's going to go for the TNT title again at some point, depending on who actually wins it. But if someone's going to win the TNT title within the next 3 weeks, then don't expect Kingston to be getting a title shot that quickly. I don't think they're going to build him up and have him win a match that big against Jericho and not do something with him. But then again, I mean, Cole lost to Orange Cassidy and got a title match, so whatever. Basically, Kingston, he doesn't, he wasn't playing Jericho's game. He basically told him off. He's just like, listen, fight me at Revolution. Let's fucking go. So Jericho's like, all right, let's do it. So we got Kingston and Jericho at Revolution. Basically, Jericho says, if you beat me, I'm going to look you in the eye. I'm going to shake your hand. I'm going to tell you have my utmost respect. I don't think Kingston gives a shit. He's like, and he told him, I don't want to see this mimosa match Jericho or any of this bullshit. I want to see the guy who bled buckets in Tennessee. I want to see the guy that Triple H hated. He said Levesque. I thought that was pretty dope. I mean, Triple H is dead. I think Vince literally fucking killed him. So, but whatever. God rest his soul. But basically Jericho's like, you know what? I still think you're a loser. He's like, you're going to come at me with all you guys. I still think you're a bum. So I can't wait. Revolution is already, and this is the first AEW pay-per-view of the year, and it is fucking stacked to the goddamn gills. I'm going to go through the card at least like 2 or 3 times because I'm so excited about it, but it's a fucking great card. So, confirmed, Jericho, Kingston, Revolution, gonna be awesome. They also confirmed Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa. I think they confirmed that last week. Obviously because I wasn't here. I couldn't say that on the podcast, but yes, we got Baker and Thunder Rosa for the tag team titles. For the women's title. I was kind of hoping it was going to be in a steel cage. It doesn't look like it. Unless there's, I don't know, they're going to have that contract signing. Maybe they switch it to a steel cage match in the contract or whatever. So I'm really fucking hoping. We'll see about that. What else is there? We got an Andrade versus Matt Hardy promo. I'm telling you, the losses with Private Party are what's going to drive, or it's going to be the catalyst for Matt Hardy to be out of the AHFO and team back up with Jeff. So if you don't think Jeff is coming, Jeff is fucking coming. I assume maybe Double or Nothing, they do a Hardys match. Maybe All Out, they do Hardys versus the Bucks. Because I do think that the Hardys are going to have one last run. I wouldn't mind if it was a summer run. So maybe Jeff shows up at Double or Nothing. And then they go for, they fight a couple of people, blah, 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 for the next, 3 months. I really don't want them to wrestle too many times because, like I said, Matt's in rough shape physically. Like, if you see him in the ring, like, the guy's body's taking its toll. And if you look at his body at work, I don't blame him. Jeff isn't that much. I think Jeff's probably in better shape than Matt, but, they're not getting any younger, guys. So, I do see them having, sparing matches every once in a while throughout the summer, and then it finally leading to a blow-off with the Bucks, and then that leads to their retirement. That's how I would do it. Go out with a bang. Go out with, say what you will about the Bucks. I don't necessarily think this, but they're let them lose to their spiritual successors, another brother tag team that they could lose to, and that's it. And then right off into the sunset. And hey, if Vince wants to toss them another payday to put them both in the Hall of Fame for a couple mil, then do it. Because, at that point we know that we got the real ending with the Bucks, and not some sort of bullshit ending when they fight fucking Alpha Academy or some bullshit. They also, Hardy wants Andrade to team with Private Party to fight Sting, Darby, and Sammy in a tornado trios match at Revolution. That should be pretty fucking awesome. I can't believe I missed that little tidbit. I was a little behind on today. Taz joined commentary. They did a Face of the Revolution qualifier. Ricky Starks versus 10. I honestly thought that 10 was gonna win. I wanted the big horse match. All right, I wanted big meaty men slapping meat. I wanted that ladder match to have all the biggest fucking dudes in AEW just destroying each other, breaking ladders over their fucking necks and all that shit. We already have Keith Lee. We already have Hobbs. We already have Wardlow. Putting 10 in there would have been dope. Then you throw in Brian Cage because, you know, he's got nothing fucking to do. And then you get like one other guy, maybe Lance Archer. Then have these monsters murder each other. But Ricky Starks beats 10. Ricky Starks probably about like 215, 220. Not even, maybe 190. Hey, listen, I love Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks is awesome. You know, if he's in the ladder match, great. I mean, but as long as he has that FTW title, I feel like in terms of booking, like, what else can you do with him? You put him in any sort of title match, now they're going to start touting it as whether or not he's going to be a double champ. Sure, if you want to make him a double champ and hold the FTW title and the TNT title, fine. But that TNT title, Fury, yo, Process, what's good, brother? That TNT title picture is, like, loaded between Andrade, Sammy, Darby, Rick, you could do Jay Lethal, you could do Ricky Starks, you could do, fucking Keith Lee, anybody. Like, that TNT title picture, pretty fucking dope, man. Pretty fucking dope. So, like, even if you don't see guys going for, like, the AEW title, like, if, like the TNT title is no joke. You know, they've made that a title worth having. And whoever ends up having it ends up having pretty fucking great matches. The question for the group from Process. Let's see. So, 10 tried to put the full Nelson on Starks. Starks fought out by grabbing 10's mask, hit him with the spear as he was trying to put the mask back on, and, Starks wins. Adam Cole and Red Dragon, they do a backstage segment. They're celebrating their win. The Bucks show up. They call it a double cross. They got all pissed off, and Cole basically begged Red Dragon, like, you guys got to get on the same page. I need all you guys together, because obviously he's hoping for a little bit of tag team help. So I'm not sure. I don't think so. Process. I think the guy who's gonna take the belt off of Hangman is gonna be MJF. But Fish and O'Reilly, I do think depending on who that third tag team is, I think Fish and O'Reilly have a strong chance of walking out as champs. I definitely think so, but I think it's not Cole's time yet, and I don't think it's Paige's time to drop the title. I think it's gonna be it'll be MJF, probably either a Double or Nothing or All Out, and I pray to God it is not on fucking television. Next segment, Jade Cargill. That woman is so fine. Defeats the Bunny. It was the crowd was pretty hyped. It kind of got a little quiet on this one, but I mean, like, if there was anyone to kind of push Jade Cargill like into the 5-minute territory, it would have been the Bunny. There was, it was obviously there was a commercial break, so I am curious as to how the crowd reacted to the entire fucking deal. It was interesting. It was a good match. Towards the end, Mark Sterling tossed in the TNT title after Matt Hardy threw the brass knucks. I was wondering if those brass knucks were ever going to come into play. Jade blocked the brass knucks with the belt. I don't understand how that could have hurt Bunny if she had the brass knucks, but whatever. But I thought that was interesting. Aubrey kicked both Sterling and Hardy out. The Bunny tried for down the rabbit hole. It got countered into what the fuck is that? Is that Matt? Is that Jaded? Yeah, her finishing move, Jaded, and dropped down and just freaking destroyed her. 1, 2, 3. Basically, she was asking who's next. She said who's left. Ty Conti and her fine ass comes out. She said she's not just next. She's the one who's gonna beat you. They squared off. The Bunny got involved. Conti hit her with the TKO. What the Thai KO, I'm sorry, and then got destroyed by pump kick by Jade. Anna Jay took her sweet time coming to the ring with a save on a chair because her movement and her facials and her ring presence is just god awful. She comes to the ring, she's just speed walking. Like, show some emotion, get loose, be comfortable. You're fucking gorgeous. You're an athlete. Get better in the ring, but like, you gotta stop with this. It's gotta stop. It's gotta stop. Just get loose. You're great. You're fine. Just loosen up a bit. She's just it seems like she's thinking too much about shit. My motherfucking Keith Lee got interviewed backstage about the other participants in the Face of the Revolution ladder match. He said the only name he recognized was Starks. Starks walked up, basically was just like, Team Taz runs this bitch. Watch yourself, stay in line. And then the stare down of all stare downs happened. Keith Lee and Powerhouse Hobbs. I can't wait. I can't wait. Keith Lee versus Powerhouse Hobbs is gonna be fucking awesome. Obviously, Keith Lee is gonna go over, but he's gonna put Powerhouse Hobbs over like nobody's business, dog. Powerhouse Hobbs is trimming out. That dude is cut. That dude is diesel. His matches are getting better. I'm telling you, man, Powerhouse Hobbs, that's my fucking man right there. I love that dude. We got the lineup for Rampage this Friday. The TNT Championship is on the line. Sammy Guevara facing Andrade El Idolo. Serena Deeb's 5-minute challenge. We got the Face of the Revolution qualifier. We got Orange Cassidy versus Anthony Bowens. I love Anthony Bowens. He's fantastic in the ring. I really do hope he wins, but Orange Cassidy's fucking winning. It looks like they're going to have 3 big guys and I guess like 3 lightweights, and we're going to see what's what. We'll see. And then they're going to do the Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa contract signing, which I really do hope turns it into a cage match, but we'll see. And obviously, it's Thunder Rosa's time. It's fucking Thunder Rosa's time. She needs to I'm telling you, this is her time. She's winning the title. I think Brit did exactly what she needed to do with that women's division. I think the only person that's compelling enough in that women's division outside of Brit is Thunder Rosa. Outside of that, Ruby Soho, and that's pretty much it. Statlander's like fucking around with Layla Hirsch. I still think she just needs to find her groove in terms of promos or whatever. They still seem a little wooden. Is Hobbs World Championship material? Yes. Absolutely. Eventually. Not anytime soon, but fucking eventually. We got a prediction in the chat. We got Process predicting Conti's gonna be champion at Revolution. Wow. That's a bold prediction. That is a bold prediction. Very, very I don't know. I would not I would be shocked. I would be shocked. But I mean, Ty could hold that belt. She really could. Let's see. We get to the main event for tonight. I thought it was a great match. We had Danielson versus Garcia. Both very technical in the ring, very violent in the ring. I am very curious as to see what's going to happen with the guys that Danielson called out once Mox joins him. Because I could only assume Mox is going to be Danielson at Revolution. And then they're going to team together. And then what? Are they going to take Moriarty and they're going to take Daniel Garcia? Are they going to break up those factions? I mean, to be honest, Matt Sydal doesn't need Lee Moriarty because Matt Sydal's got, Matt Sydal? Mike Sydal, his brother. He's got his brother, you know? And 2.0 is 2.0. They're fine. They're their own tag team. So, you know, it's all good in the hood. So basically Danielson countered the dragon screw that Garcia was running all match to try and tweak Danielson's knee. Danielson countered it into fucking stomping Garcia's head in and then locked on the triangle with the double flex for the win. Basically, after the match, like Danielson, asked if like Garcia was violent enough. 2.0 shows up out of nowhere, starts beating the shit out of Danielson. Moxley's music plays, runs out from the crowd, beats the shit out of all of them. Garcia was about to hit Moxley with a chair, but actually Danielson, you got him with the save, and Garcia ate a paradigm shift. Danielson grabbed the mic and basically said, like, hey, listen, I'm going to accept your challenge. We're doing it at Revolution, but don't be surprised if you're the only one bleeding. So that was it. That was tonight. That was the show. So basically how we have it set up right now is we have Cole and Hangman for the AEW title. We have Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa for the AEW women's title. We have Jade Cargill versus Ty Conti for the TNT for the TBS title. We have the triple threat tag match between Jurassic Express, Red Dragon, and a team that's yet to be determined. We have Jericho versus Kingston. We have Moxley versus Danielson. We have MJF versus Punk. We have... Am I forgetting anything, chat? I can't think of any. I think that's got to be it, right? There's got to... I assume there's not going to be a TNT title match on that card because of the ladder match, but who knows? Oh, and the ladder match. The Face of the Revolution ladder match. And Kingston and Jericho. Did I mention that one? Yeah. I'm telling you, man, Revolution is gonna be fucking spectacular. That is a stacked card. We got Process in the chat asking, will Wardlow, saying that Wardlow's gonna turn face at Revolution? I don't know, because I feel like I don't know, man, because actually, you know what? I completely forgot that Punk lost twice. It's possible that Punk and MJF is a trilogy. And it's going to be Punk loses the first match with MJF. I'm not counting that as 2 wins. That's fucking horseshit. But I think Punk loses the first match. Punk wins the second match. And MJF wins the rubber match, and maybe the rubber match is in a steel cage or something like that. But I think that if Punk is going to win at Revolution, which now I'm kind of taking back saying that MJF was going to win because I honestly forgot that they had fought already. If Punk is going to win at Revolution, it's going to be because Wardlow helped out. And then I think it's gonna that might lead to like an MJF Wardlow storyline leading up into Double or Nothing. And then once MJF is done with that, thus begins the build between MJF and I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not really sure. Richie wants to know, do I think anyone debuts at Revolution? Who's left, man? Really? Who's left? Oh, I don't know. Wyatt, I think, is going to make money off of his this before his this. You know what I mean? I think he's a very creative mind. I think last I heard he was doing some stuff in Hollywood. I think he's going to try and make his money there. And then once he's done trying to make his money there, he'll go to AEW. I don't think he's ever going to work with Vince again. So I don't think we're going to be seeing Wyatt for a while. And to be quite honest, like, I think Hangman versus Punk at Double or Nothing. Yes, Process, I think so. Gargano at Revolution. I think Gargano is going to be the Joker of the Casino Battle Royal. That's what I think. I think he's going to be the Joker card at the Double or Nothing Battle Royal. That's what I think about Gargano. Because last I heard, the baby's born, and I think he's going to take a couple of months. I think he's taking about, like, if I heard correctly, like 3 months. So that would mean May, and I think Double or Nothing is around that time. Usually Double or Nothing is like the beginning of the summer pay-per-view because All Out happens in usually August or September. So, that's what I think. I think maybe. Well, you know, Josh, they named the titles after the networks. It's just a promotional thing, you know? I mean, they don't have to, but it's a rub, you know, they don't have any titles that have legacy like the Intercontinental title, you know what I mean? So, like, to make that mid-card title make sense that they give the network the rub. Why not? Why not? And hey, if they ever leave that network, they could always just rename the title. So that's true. All right, so we got a prediction that the Bucks are going to be the final team in that triple. Oh, so you think it's going to be Red Dragon, the Bucks, and Jurassic Express? I like that. I feel like they're two great tag teams that overshadow one okay tag team, which is fine, though. I mean, who wouldn't like a Red Dragon versus Young Bucks match? And then, not going to lie, Jungle Boy ain't a bad wrestler. He really isn't. I just hope, to be quite honest, I hope they, I know this might sound harsh, but I think that Jurassic Express, I think once Luchasaurus' contract is up, I think they should release him. Just like they're going to release Marco Stunt. I think they need to disband Jurassic Express, and I think Jungle Boy needs to be his own man. And he needs to go solo, and he needs to do his own thing, and that's it. Because I don't think him tagging with Luchasaurus does him any favors. There was more interest in him when he was doing his singles run while Luchasaurus was injured. And no one gives a fuck about Marco Stunt, so I honestly think that they need to be, Big Daddy Moscow needs to debut on Destiny tonight, motherfucker. Process, I'm not sure, because I do feel like the Undisputed Era, they need Roderick Strong. Like, that was the full group, I mean, granted, the Undisputed Era was just those three guys until they had Roddy turn on Pete Dunne at the Dusty Classic. So, like, I don't know. I just feel like it's not the Undisputed Era without Roderick Strong. And to be honest, Roderick Strong was like he was my favorite member of the Undisputed Era because I thought that dude was a fucking machine in the ring. I mean, Adam Cole was the total package, but, like, Roderick Strong is the fucking man. He's the messiah of the backbreaker. I mean, come on. It was just fucking awesome. What else happened? Didn't Elimination Chamber happen? Elimination Chamber happened. It fucking sucked. I mean, but like, what else? Like, I only watch the WWE pay-per-views. I don't watch them week to week, and it does suck. So that doesn't change. So hold on, Richie, are you saying that Jungle Boy and Ric Flair should pair up? Oh, use it like the Jungle Boy. Yeah, that's it. He should tout out. Yeah, he should bring out Anna Jay, and Anna Jay just is dressed up in the hoest looking outfit she possibly can. And oh yeah, Jungle Boy's hit. Yeah, Elimination Chamber was awful. And Jungle Boy. Yeah, but I mean, I do that for like a Jungle Boy heel turn, which is gonna happen years from now. He'll be the last of the pillars to turn heel. I think Sammy's already been heel and face, so that works out. What do you call it? MJF is a mega heel. Darby could easily be a heel if he wanted to, and he could be a face. So, honestly, they could just hold on to Sting and wait for that eventual heel turn by Darby, and then Darby turns on Sting, and it's a wrap. Then who knows? Maybe Darby has a match with Sting. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, man, like, I'm telling you, AEW is. Yes, you did say it, Doom. Yes. I'm giving credit to Bulletproof. He did say it. Yes. Jesus H. Christ. AEW has a good problem, but it's a very difficult problem. And I don't see any easy solutions, to be quite honest. Like, I think I was talking to someone today. Someone was saying that, Tony just needs to man up and make Rampage 2 hours. Yeah, I do think Rampage at this point needs to be 2 hours. I do think that there is just way too much talent. You have way too many people collecting a check sitting on the bench and who are way too good and in their prime to not be being used properly. But they have too many people you could say that about. I mean, the list is fucking endless. I mean, there's a very small group of people in AEW who I don't feel deserve any TV time, that they need to be opening matches on Dark and Elevation. That's pretty much it. I do think that the majority of the people that I personally think are going to get let go are going to get let go. Their contracts are not going to renew. I think guys like the Wingmen, I think guys like majority of the guys in I think the factory is fucked now that now that Cody isn't around. And also I'm a big fan of the make rosters and split them up evenly. You know what? I don't know. Hold on, what did Process say? When does Cody Rhodes debut? No. Make rosters and split them up evenly. Process. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I still think... Rampage has been great. Rampage is the best hour of television, period. A lot of times I actually like Rampage over Dynamite because there's less fluff. It's just matches that I really like. I don't know if Rampage could be at 7 on a Friday. You know what I mean? Like, for it to have 2 hours, it really does need to be pulling in more ratings than it does. I mean, and what? That means that the second hour of Rampage is going to compete with the first hour of SmackDown on Fridays? That's going to be tough. That's going to be tough, Doom. I think they need to just put it on... See, Tony won't put it on Thursdays because of football. And he's not going to put it on... He's not going to put it earlier on Friday because of SmackDown. And he's not going to put it on Tuesdays because he's not going to have it compete with NXT. Now, to be quite honest, he should put it on Tuesdays. I don't think that many AEW people watch NXT anymore. All the guys that people wanted to watch in NXT are in fucking AEW right now. Like, they got rid of everybody. Like, fucking, we're how many months into this 2.0 thing, and Dolph Ziggler is challenging for the NXT title? Nah, he won't do it on Saturday's Process either because of football. Because of Saturday Night Football, he won't do it. Oh, wow. Freaking Josh is slicing people left and right. So Josh wants to get rid of Orange Cassidy, Marco Stunt, Luchasaurus, Brandon Cutler, Luther, Michael Nakazawa, Anthony Gogo. Oh, yeah, I could see them getting, bro, I'll be honest with you. I could see them getting rid of everybody but 2 people. They're going to keep Brandon Cutler, but Brandon Cutler doesn't wrestle. He's a stooge. He just shows up on whatever. And they're going to keep Orange Cassidy. He's one of the biggest merch sellers in the company. They're going to fucking keep him. And enough with the European title. Enough. You bring that to my house, I'm going to kill you. Only bring the American titles. And that's it. All right? I'm laughing because the majority of you guys in the chat are going to be fucking probably coming to my house for Revolution. Which I will not be doing a live show after that because I'm going to be so wasted during that show. It's not going to happen. But I'll talk about it on the, I am considering, doing a second show in the week, leaving Wednesday nights as a pure review of Dynamite and a review of the prior week's Rampage, and then just leaving, and then just having one just about the news and wrestling or whatnot. So that's still kind of being formulated. I'm not really sure when or where that's going to go. But, Go-Go was the reason that Gresham didn't sign? Well, were they having beef on Twitter? Josh, the true Russian champion is whoever gets to bang Lana. That's the true Russian champion. No belt is needed. You have that woman, you're the true Russian champ. Process has a question in the chat. Who's the next to debut in AEW? Will it be a non-WWE guy? No. I think the next person to debut in AEW is Johnny fucking Gargano. Unless they're going to debut somebody at Revolution, but I think the next big name for AEW is going to be Johnny Wrestling. Definitely. I think he is way, way too good of a free agent to let loose out there. He is 100% proven himself to be a tag team guy, has 100% proven himself to be a good heel, a good face, a good champion, a good underdog, a good fighting champion. Johnny Gargano is the total package, and when they eventually release Ciampa, they're going to bring him in too, and you could do the whole fucking thing over again. And have them feud with each other, or make them a legit tag team, have them beat the shit out of FTR, and have them beat the shit out of the Young Bucks and any other tag team in that division, because Johnny Gargano is God. Josh has a question in the chat. Eric, would you consider a gaming stream, retro talk, or something similar? Yes. If I could have got my stream working yesterday, I would have been streaming Destiny. And I want to stream Destiny tonight, but for some reason something's going on with my OBS and it's not capturing anything that I play streaming. So once that happens, yes, there will be a streaming a show that comes up on this channel. It's gonna be called the Cologne Chronicles. It is going to be a chronicle of my gaming exploits at night with my gaming crew. I play with the same like 3 guys every night. We've jumped into a majority of different games throughout the years and throughout the months. We pretty much have between all of us, we pretty much have every console. And with all the subscriptions we have that are out there, we have a bunch of opportunities to play a bunch of different games. So please stay tuned for that. I will not be making a separate channel for it. It'll just be another show that pops up on this channel. So, but I'll give you guys a heads up once I can get all this stuff working. But definitely I will follow you along, myself, Josh, and we got 2 of the guys from Boone Syndication, Anthony and Dan. So that'll be a joint thing. We'll put the live streams up here. Anthony and Dan, who run Boone Syndication, have archived videos of our gaming exploits, so you could check it out there, Boone Syndication. I think one of them might be in the chat, so if Anthony or Dan are currently watching, if you could post the link in the chat to your channel, please. That'd be great. Oh yeah, I also forgot. AEW signed Isaiah Swerve Scott, so that'll be interesting. He's a great talent. I thought his best work when he was in Hit Row. I just like him without the rest of Hit Row. Because BFAB sucked, and I couldn't give a shit. I could care less about Top Dollar. But Swerve Scott is great. He's gonna have fantastic matches. I don't see him in the upper card yet. He's definitely gonna be like a mid card, upper mid card guy. But like I said, that fucking I don't know who said this. I think it was who was it? I think Doom said it in the chat that like the TNT title picture is wide fucking open. Wide fucking open. Yes, when the AEW game comes out, I will 110% be streaming that shit. That will definitely happen. Yeah, Gargano is a perfect signing. Is the perfect signing. Swerve was a great signing. I'm telling you, I still think, and I could be dead wrong, I still think that you need to take Dark and Elevation and you need to split the fucking rosters between your guys who are great and seasoned and talented and are good on the mic and are good in the ring and put them on the 3 hours that you have of live network television wrestling a week, which would be Rampage and Dynamite. Then you take Dark and Elevation and you put everyone else and you make a dark title, you make a Dark or an Elevation title, something like that. You make a dark title. Make a dark singles title for the men, make a dark women's title, do everything but a mid-card. Or you know what, even fucking do a mid-card. I don't care. Do it where it's just a microcosm of what the main roster is. Give people a reason to watch Dark and Elevation, build storylines, build up characters, and it'll be a little bit more forgiving because it's not going to be on fucking television and there's not going to be any commercial breaks. You can actually sit through and watch the whole match from beginning to end. I do think that they need to make Dark its own division. They need to make Dark like an NXT because AEW does not have the benefit of an FCW. They do not have the benefit of an NXT. They're putting all these guys on television. That AQA match sucked. And she might have, I'm not saying that she's like a lost cause. I'm just saying that, like, come on. You gotta have people that could put on a better show if you're gonna take valuable television time. You wanna know why? I'm trying to save the booking. I'm trying to save Tony a headache right now. Because what happens is, if you put people on TV that aren't ready and they screw it up, you've taken valuable TV time for a laundry list of people who are a better fit for that slot. Guys like a Keith Lee, guys like a Jay Lethal, guys like an Isaiah Swerve Scott, guys like you could even fucking say, you know, like Orange Cassidy or freaking Ricky Starks or anyone else in that bloated mid card. Because yes, Josh is correct. They need to create their own developmental territory. Because right now the indies aren't it right now. The indies aren't it. Right now, AEW is pulling from whoever's a free agent from the decimated indies that are out right now, and whoever leaves whoever leaves Vince. ROH is gone. New Japan is a shell of itself. PWG just does its own thing out west. GCW, way too young and way too inexperienced. That pay-per-view that they did at Hammerstein was not the best pay-per-view. They put over all these fucking no-name guys and didn't put it over any of their home talent. You mean to tell me you mean to tell me that you want to have this as an introduction to your promotion and you're going to put fucking Jeff Jarrett over Effie? Like, come the fuck on. There is nothing left out there. The UK scene is done. Vince and Triple H destroyed it with NXT UK. I wouldn't say make another world title for Rampage. They need to, because they already have, like, that's technically another mid-card title because Rampage isn't a show on its own. It's connected with Dynamite. It's connected to those storylines. Or you know what? Make the FTW's title something worth getting and that better be defended every other week. There should be an FTW title storyline going on at all times. You want to know why? Because there's always a storyline going on with the world title, the tag title, the TBS title, and the TNT titles. So if you want to make that title mean something, then that needs to be something that's always up for grabs, on the line, discussed and talked about just as much as your regular titles. Otherwise, you have a whole lot of people. You can't think of storylines for everybody. You know what I mean? There's not, and even if you could, actually, no, that's a lie. You could 100% think of storylines for everybody on that roster, but you have no TV time. So I don't believe it's something like we don't have anything for you. It's we don't have enough time. We don't have enough time. I don't think, based on all the booking that Tony's done, I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility I don't think that he doesn't know how to create good storylines for the people who are here. Honestly. Based on the storylines that he's done, I think he's a good storyteller. He just doesn't have enough time. What do you do when you don't have enough time? You make time. But everybody, remember this. Time and money are connected. If he wants more time, he's going to have to shell out more money. And that's going to be in either A, the TV networks are going to gift him another hour and make that a part of the contract deal, or B, he's going to have to buy into that. That's going to be money he could be taking away from other signees or doing other events. I don't know. But I'm telling you right now, like, if this roster keeps growing the way that it is, there is going to be a subsect of AEW fan who is going to be pissed off that insert their guy here is not being pushed. Because insert this guy here is being pushed. I welcome that problem. I welcome that problem. Because that is not a problem you see in any other company. Where you have someone who could tell enough good stories, there's just not enough TV time to tell all the stories. I don't know. I don't think Tony's doing all the booking and he's doing all of that on his own. Yeah, all right. Make the FTW title there, IW. Yeah, I mean, that could be a traveling title. Have that being defended in other places. Have Ricky Stark show up at a GCW or all these fucking places and start defending. You can do that. You can 100% do that. Yeah, some sort. Yeah. You know what? Josh is 100% right. They need to sign guys they need to sign all of those trainers and stuff that they let go from NXT. Imagine Regal running the dark division. Come on. You cannot say that that's not a good idea. Having the same creative minds that booked NXT to make it as popular as it was, and have them run the dark division and have them start building up the younger talent. You have so much talent on that roster right now that could lend a hand. Guys who have experience with promos like Eddie Kingston. Guys that have experience in ring like Daniel Bryan. Guys who, you got guys who you could talk to their big guys. You could talk to guys like Mark Henry and Big Show about being a big man. You could talk to guys like Matt Sydal and who else? Whoever else is a high flyer, or Pac on being a high flying cruiserweight. They have such a wealth of experience that they could put into a dark division. That's what needs to happen. There needs to be a dark division. They need to put belts on there. It needs to be separate. You know, and every once in a while, maybe you'll have a dark title match on a Rampage or a Dynamite or the opening or, you know, the pre-show to a pay-per-view. You want to know why? Because if you put a title on a guy and you're going to have that title change, that means that you've put a title on the guy who's proven in some way, shape, or form, which means they shouldn't be a waste of TV time. And if you're going to make a guy a number one contender, he shouldn't be a waste of TV time either. So if you're going to save those big title matches for like you know, maybe they just need to fill time on Rampage, or maybe they need to fill time on Dynamite. It's not going to feel like a time filler because the title, they would have built a title. It would have meant something to that division, and it would have been a worthwhile storyline. It would have been worthwhile storytelling. Because what else are you going to do? What else are you going to do? I'm going to pose this question to the chat. What is the solution to AEW's overpopulation problem? And I won't even consider it a problem. Let's rephrase that. What is the solution to the very stacked AEW roster? That's what I'd like to hear that from the chat. If you have all this money and all this talent and 3 hours, what do you do? Do you buy a second hour for Rampage? Do you buy a third hour for Dynamite? Do you do neither and split the rosters between Dark and Rampage and Dynamite? What do you do? What's the solution? I don't think it's an easy one. I do not think it's an easy one at all. But I don't know, man. It's a great. I'm excited. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan. I really am. Yeah, Richie. Richie, they're gonna start trimming the fat. I'm telling you, when all those contracts are coming due. I think he's not gonna do the renew option for a lot of guys. A lot of guys. I think a lot of guys were maybe on a 2-3 year contract, and we're heading on year 3 now of AEW. Watch, that culling is coming, brother. That culling is coming. They don't ever, you know what, Doom, they don't ever show. They used to show every once in a while highlights from Dark on TV. But now it's just like a bottom scroller where they show the results. I'm telling you guys, don't sleep on Dark and Elevation because there's some great matches on there. And not going to lie, some guys who you don't think cut very good promos in a smaller setting. I'm telling you, do not sleep on Dark and Elevation. It's worth watching. I think it's more worthwhile watching than NXT 2.0. Doom, you're freaking nuts, bro. But tell me, okay, Doom, their B-Show NWA gets highlight segments on the show. All right, so you like the way that they kind of produce the show. All right. You want to make, and let's see, Process says make a developmental show on Tuesdays with Regal and guide the young talent, then extend Rampage an hour and treat it as a separate show in separate cities. Maybe. The problem is that touring separately is a lot of money. I think Tony saves a lot of money by doing Rampage and Dynamite on the same night. And to be quite honest, it makes, when you buy tickets to Dynamite, it makes it more worth your while because sometimes those Rampage cards are fucking great. And to sit there for like 4 hours, I mean, it is kind of tough. Like sitting there for 4 hours of wrestling is kind of tough because you're sitting through Dark Elevation. That's like a half hour. Then you're sitting through Dynamite, which is 2 hours, and then Rampage, which is another third. But depending on like the Rampage matches, it is worthwhile to stay. I mean, I've been to 2 AEW shows already, and it is worthwhile to stay. I'll be at my third one I will be in Belmont for the inaugural match of the Owen Hart tournament. So I will be there live. So I will let you know what sign I'm bringing to the show. But that's going to be great. I never really got into NWA because I really wasn't a fan necessarily of its presentation. It felt very old school. It felt very old school World Championship Wrestling. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it never latched on. But maybe I should give it another shot because both you and Doom keep on saying that NWA is great. Yo, what do you guys think about Control the Narrative and the guys who have signed there? That's an interesting roster, to say the least. I'm pretty excited about that. Very excited about it. But whatchamacallit? I'm gonna cut the stream. We've had enough talk for today. Like I said, a lot of changes coming to the channel. We should have the gaming channel soon. Or at least a new show on gaming. It is possible that at a certain point in time, there may actually be a TV and film based show on this channel. I'm talking to a potential co-host for that, and also a potential co-host for the news portion of of the wrestling part of the show. So a lot of exciting things are coming to the channel. I promise you guys I will make social media for this soon. I hate it so much, but I think I'm just going to, it will not be a place that you will, it is just a place for you to just get updates on the channel. It is not really going to be a place where I plan on conversating with pretty much anybody. I would like to keep that exclusive to the live shows. So, but a lot of exciting things happening. I am super encouraged that we had a good turnout tonight. Especially since I wasn't, I basically no-showed you guys last week, in which I apologize. So, I thank you guys for the great turnout today. And the great interactions that we had in the chat, and the smart booking, and just the funny stuff that you guys say, man. I love having these shows and getting to talk with you guys. It really is a treat. But yeah, I'm going to sign off for now. If I could figure out how to get this gaming stream to work, then stay tuned for the channel a little bit later tonight. We're going to be going through Destiny 2 Witch Queen. Both myself, Josh, and Dan, who is a member of the Boone Syndication podcast. Josh, if you could do me a favor in our chat, could you get Anthony to post the link to Boone Syndication on the chat for everyone, if you're still watching? I think one of them is going to post something right now. Any of you guys, if you, oh, thank you, Doom. Thank you for forgiving me, you bitch. Hopefully one of these guys will, what do you mean you broke the Witch Queen? Unbelievable. Anywho, yeah. I will probably try. I'll try and put something in the description. If anything, look up Boone Syndication. That's Bravo, Oscar, Nile, BOON Syndication. Check out a couple of my buddies there. They run a pretty great gaming channel. I'm on some of those videos saying horrifically offensive shit. I would appreciate you guys going out and supporting them in their endeavors. They're great at what they do. Your loot glitched out? Yeah, I know, that was last night. Did you try it again? Josh was attempting to join our fire team last night in Destiny, and he fucked up. So yeah, so he needed to get this spear, the synaptic spear. Never grabbed it. Couldn't move forward in any of the missions with us. You son of a bitch. So I was hoping you and Wyman had fixed this before I logged on tonight, but apparently not. God damn it. I asked for one thing. I asked for one thing! Anywho, I appreciate you guys joining, being on the chat today. I love you all. I will see you guys next week for the next episode. Thank you all for watching, guys. Take care.